You're on.
Hi everyone, I hope you guys are having a good week. I am here with a Bible reading. Today we are going to start with Matthew chapter 13, verses 24 through 46. We are going to read a few parables today. So we're going to have a lot of Jesus is going to be speaking today, reading us some parables. So I will tell you when Jesus is going to be speaking and ending. So we are going to start with Jesus speaking now. Jesus told them another parable, and these are Jesus' words. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everyone was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat, and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. The owner's servants came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where then did the weeds come from?" "An enemy did this," he replied. The servants asked him, "Do you want us to go and pull them up?" "No," he answered, "because while you are pulling the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let both grow together until the harvest. At that time I will tell the harvesters, 'First collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring it into my barn.'" He told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it is the largest of garden plants, and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch on its branches. He told them still another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 60 pounds of flour until it worked all through the dough. And now we're going to stop with Jesus' words for a minute. Jesus spoke all these things to the crowd in parables. He did not say anything to them without using a parable. So was fulfilled what was spoken through the prophet. "I will open my mouth in parables. I will utter things hidden since the creation of the world." The parable of the weeds explained. Then he left the crowd and went into the house. His disciples came to him and said, "Explain to us the parable of the weeds in the field." He answered, and these are Jesus' words, "The one who sowed the good seed is the Son of Man," is Jesus. "The field is the world, and the good seed stands for the people of the kingdom. The weeds are the people of the evil one, the people of Satan. And the enemy who sows them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the age, and the harvesters are the angels." So the harvesters are angels. "As the weeds are pulled up and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of the age," at the end of the world. "The Son of Man, Jesus, will send out his angels, and they will weed out of his kingdom everything that causes sin and all who do evil. They will throw them into the blazing furnace, into hell, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father in heaven. Whoever has ears, let them hear." And now, lastly for Matthew today, Jesus' words. "The kingdom of heaven is like treasure hidden in a field. When a man found it, he hid it again, and then in his joy went and sold all he had and bought that field. Again, the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant looking for fine pearls. When he found one of great value, he went away and sold everything he had and bought it." And that is where we're stopping with Matthew today. That's ending Jesus' words today. Jesus always spoke in parables, didn't he? But if you really think about them, you can really understand what he means. What each parable means, if you think about it. All right, here, let's see what psalm we got today. Looks like we got part of a psalm today. Psalm 18, verses 1 through 15. For the director of music of David, the servant of the Lord, he sang to the Lord the words of this song when the Lord delivered him from the hand of all his enemies and from the hand of Saul. He said, I love you, Lord, my strength. The Lord is my rock, my fortress, and my deliverer. My God is my rock, in whom I take refuge, my shield and my horn of my salvation, my stronghold. I called to the Lord, who is my worthy praise, and I have been saved from my enemies. The cords of death entangled me. The torrents of destruction overwhelmed me. The cords of the grave coiled around me. The snares of death confronted me. In my distress I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. From his temple he heard my voice. My cry came before him into his ears. The earth trembled and quaked, and the foundations of the mountains shook. They trembled because he was angry. Smoke rose from his nostrils. Consuming fire came from his mouth. Burning coals blazed out of it. He parted the heavens and came down. Dark clouds were under his feet. He mounted the cherubim and flew. He soared on the wings of the wind. He made darkness his covering, his canopy around him, the dark rain, clouds of the sky. Out of the brightness of his presence clouds advanced. With hailstones and bolts of lightning, the Lord thundered from heaven. The voice of the Most High resounded. He shot his arrows and scattered the enemy. With great bolts of lightning he routed them. The valleys of the sea were exposed, and the foundations of the earth laid bare. At the rebuke, Lord, at the blast of the breath from your nostrils. And that is where we're going to stop with Psalm 18 today. That is a Psalm of David. And now we are going to go to Proverbs chapter 4, verses 1 through 6. Get wisdom at any cost. Listen, my sons, to a father's instruction. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so do not forsake my teaching. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished to my mother. Then he taught me, and he said to me, take hold of my words with all your heart. Keep my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. Amen. You ever remember when you was little and your parents would tell you something and they would be like, I don't know, just tell you something like, you need to do this or that because, I don't know, a good example, but you need to do this or that because when I did that or whatever. Trying to tell you a good example because when they done something, they made a mistake or whatever. And then you're like, yeah, whatever, you know. They're just old and they don't know. You wished you would have listened to them because they really did know best because they lived through it. Now you wished you would have listened to them because they really did live through it. You know what I mean? Now you wished you wished you would have listened to them. Now you wished your kids would listen to you because you wished you would have listened to them. It's a vicious cycle all over again, you know what I mean? Makes you think of that with this. Listen, my son, to your father's instruction. Pay attention and gain understanding. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished by my mother. When we're young, we think we know everything, you know, we don't want to listen. Then when we're older, we want to tell our young ones what we know, and they don't want to listen to us then. We want to tell them what we've learned and what we know, because we've done it, and we don't want them to make the same mistakes. And then they think we're dumb, and they want to learn for themselves. And then we're the dumb ones. We're the ones that they don't want to listen to. Like we didn't want to listen to our parents. It's the way it is, I guess. Okay, so the question for yesterday was, what two girls, sisters in the Bible slept with their dad and got pregnant? And the answer you should have came up with was Lot's daughters. Lot's daughters. The daughters of Lot. Okay, and they both gave birth to boys, by the way. Let's find a question here. Here's a question. Who were the parents of John the Baptist? That is your question for tonight. Who were the parents of John the Baptist? I need the mom and the dad. You could find that in the Old Testament. In the New Testament too, probably. Let me go through the list of our names on our prayer request here. Please keep the following people in prayer. Lonnie Doles Jr. and family, Jimmy Myers, Sherman Crabtree, Abby Myers and Rhonda Karshner, Layla and her son Emil, Michelle Watkins, Judy Thompson, Cindy and Jim Welsh, Dora Carper, Garnet Boyer and Jim Mitchell, Melody Stanley, April and Linda Thacker, Barb Post, Randy Post, Sammy and Paco. Okay guys, that was everything for today. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Let's bring those souls to Jesus, and God willing, we'll see you guys again tomorrow with another Bible reading. Bye guys. God bless.